Okay, we're done editing the static content on our website. Now it's time to upload the dynamic content, which is our projects, into the CMS. Now this template comes with some PSD templates for you to put your projects in it. If you have Photoshop or something similar, any software that can open up a PSD, you can go there and put your projects in there. If not, you want to use mine. I've just put some random images so that we have something to work with. You can find that below this video. Now, I've basically showed you how to do this in the when we covered the structure, and you can go here into the CMS and you have 3 projects. Now we can either delete these and start from scratch, or we can go here and just change the text. So let's cover it and to really understand how this works. So name, and you can see we have the asterisk, meaning this is mandatory. We have to have this content. So let's call this Ron's Amazing Project. That's the name of the project. Now, by default, it's going to try to match that with the slug. And again, the slug is what URL for the page is going to look like. So this is, by default, this is work. It's not by default, sorry. It's because the settings for the project, if we're going to go to the settings here, you see that the collection URL is work. That means that all of the pages are going to be work. If we want to, we can go ahead and change that to projects for a second, for example. Now it's going to tell me that if we've published the website and if somebody else is linking, then we might have some broken stuff, and we can set up redirects. So again, if you're doing this for a website that exists and some people are already linking to your website, you want to set up redirects, which is basically means if they're old URL and there's nothing there, instead of getting to the 404 page, they're going to be redirected to the new page. In this case, we don't need to do this because it's a new website. So I just change it into project. Let's save the collection, and then let's go back here into Ron's Amazing Project. So now it's my website project. Now it still has the old one. So now we have to write some kind of a slug. And here we can't have spaces because this is a URL and URLs can't have it. So for me, let's call this project 1. It's going to give me the same message again, because if we link to it, blah, 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 it doesn't matter. All right, let's see what else we have here. Project description. So this is just text. So this is, I've made this project when I was young and I was, a newbie designer, whatever. Okay, so this is designer. Okay, project number. Again, so this is a number, and you can see that it's formatted. It's give us hints on how to format it. So 1, 2, 3. Now they're probably using this to sort which project shows up first. So let's say I want to have this as a first project. So let's do this 0, 1. Now we have an image here. Let's replace it with, let's say this is my project. So let's upload this image here. Now we can have image description. This is for alt text. So alt text is basically, we'll get to this when we're going to talk about accessibility, but it's basically for screen readers. So we usually want to have some kind of a description of what you see in the image. So blank computer screen. So let's do computer screen with Ron's project. I don't know. That's a description of what we're seeing here. Now here, this is the project details. Note that this is something that includes both text and images. So this is what we call a rich text format. And rich text is basically very similar actually to something like Google Doc. You can see when I'm selecting this text, I can choose a heading inside of it. I can add some links. I can make some text bold. And if I want to, if I'm going to hit return here, I'll have this add, and I can add images or videos here or bullet points here. Let's say I did this, also did that. So this is where we can have, when we're not sure about what kind of information we want to have specifically, or when we have, sometimes we have just text and sometimes we have text and images and stuff like that, we're using a rich text element, and that gives us a lot of, opportunity, because what if not every project has 3 images? What if not every project has this much information we want to share about this? It gives us a lot of, versatility in terms of what we can do with the content. So this is really cool, rich text element. So let's say I've edited that and I'm saving it. And now that it's saved, let's actually go, because we've made this project number 1, let's actually review the other one. So this is now also set as project number 1. Not a good idea. So let's set this as project number 3. Let's save this. and this one is project number 2. All right, so let's go into the home page and let's see what that looks like. So you can already see that now we have here the image and we have Ron's amazing project. It's pulling in the data from the CMS. I made this project when I was young, and I can click here, view project. Actually, before we click this, you can select this and go here into the settings and see that this one is linking into a dynamic page. So it's not a specific page, it's going to the current project. So the link in project number 1 is going to go to project number 1, where the link to project number 2 is going to go to project 2. This is basically what you want. Remember, because we defined this link only once because it's part of the CMS collection list. So this link is a dynamic link, goes to the current project, and if we click on it, it would go to the respective page in the templates page. So Ron's amazing project, and we have our content here. And yeah, this is pretty much it. You can go ahead and edit the other projects if you want to with your projects, or you can go ahead and delete them if you don't need them. Yeah, you can go ahead at the bottom and just delete them or archive them. But yeah, go ahead and add more content if you want to, and let's continue on the next video.